Okay. I did put the connection to other people also if they wanted to join by Zoom. Um, but we will go ahead with it. Today, I think it will be very interesting to people who are really high professions. Uh, Janet, you can go on because this is going to be interesting for you to understand what I'm talking about for several groups, right? So, in that perspective, I think you will get a lot out of it too. So, don't be driven away by the subject. It is called Stable Humans, Intelligent Machines, and Responsible Stewardship. Okay. See, what I do in my regular day, coaching and speaking and all that, there is one theme is this high responsibility professionals like physicians, IT pros, the entrepreneurs, and also corporate leaders. These four groups seek me for consultation or coaching, right? So it could be servant leadership, it could be burnout, it could be high stress in the IT, or general entrepreneurs. Even the writings I did, a lot of them were focused on these four groups. But basically, the commonality is they have high responsibility professionals. I'm sure you have been there, Janet, though you understand these issues on retrospect much better. Okay, so what I do is I help these high responsibility professionals to regain their inner stability so they can lead, heal, and build and serve, okay, without burning out. Basically, that's what it is. So burnout is not only for the physicians, but so many people, entrepreneurs, big time. IT professionals, big time. That's happening, right? So my proactive wellness movement really offers a new architecture. That is the architecture you're going to see today for professional wellness, systematic, measurable. This is systematic and is also measurable and tailored to the unique demands of high stakes work. Whenever somebody works when it is really high stakes, that is what is important. These days, getting very, very rare, the inner stability. So same the inner technology that I teach is good for different professional people in different professional languages. Okay, so I want you to get ready to explore how this proactive wellness part of my company can serve any organization that or just to understand what we are trying to do. In that, you will have several questions about how these things work. That way, it will be very useful for anybody in personal life also. Okay, so what we are doing is be a pal. We were as a company are partnering with forward thinking leaders who understand the sustainable performance requires nervous system literacy. If you don't understand your mind, if you don't understand your brain, you are subject to a lot of stress, lot of overthinking. That is what is happening, right? So I'm going to present to you what this is all about slowly and carefully. That way you will understand why what we are doing. Okay. So when I established this term called proactive wellness, what it meant was you want to take care of your body, mind, and heart and the spirit in a proactive way so that you can avoid some problems. Maybe you cannot avoid 100%, but most of the time you could. Even if something goes wrong, you will be ahead of the game because you already know that very, very easily. See? So we want to establish one core truth and four different doorways, and also show you what are the measurable outcomes that we could do, right? So this proactive wellness is of the BA path, and it is about really stable humans physically, mentally, and spiritually. And with the rise of the AI, intelligent machines are going to be either as a robots or as a algorithm will be really telling us a lot of things to do, or they will do not only manual labor but also some of the thinking, some of the uh, ways of doing algorithms, right? They're already happening a lot, but much more so in those atmosphere where we are not taking ourselves very well, and also domination of these machines. How are you going to have leadership stable in their mind and providing responsible stewardship? Does that make sense to you, Janet? Yes. Okay. So I think it's a my life work probably, but then there's different segments I kind of help. They're sporadic, but what I want to make it is a movement so that people catch it and say, yeah, I don't have to get stressed out, I don't get to burn out, I don't have to be afraid of the technology, I don't have to neglect the ancient wisdom, I can combine all this and really do the good work rather than the crisis that they are going through. So, what is the crisis of high responsibility work? Is, see, today we have these professionals who are taking high responsibilities. They face unprecedented pressure. Physicians battle EMR documentation, that is overload, and also moral injury because they want to do something for the patient, and the drug companies, insurance companies, administrations, they don't want us to do that. Even a central government has become like that, right? Whereas the IT professionals, they are drowned in notifications and cognitive demands. So much of cognition, always thinking, right? They carry the laptop with them all the way, and 24 hours they're carrying the laptop, and that laptop is telling them, okay, I'm going to engage with work at the cost of the family, at the cost of their own personal health. That's what is happening with the IT professionals because they cannot put the iPad away or laptop, whatever they're carrying. Okay, the connectivity was like that. They don't work like 9 to 5. A lot of them, what they do is they have these projects. So they are on that network. The project people will call them and say, okay, you have to do this. Can you want to take it up? Then take it up. Do it. So they have this constantly coming in and constantly doing. That line of work, online work, has become ubiquitous all over the world. It is happening in Europe, Asia, or Africa, or here, right? And these IT professionals are burning out because they're continuously thinking. Okay. Whereas entrepreneurs, they are struggling with decision fatigue and identity crisis. These two are very common with them. Decision fatigue is because they are dealing with too many things at the same time. They're not. You can't hear me, Janet? I can't hear you. I don't know what's going on. Everything is okay. I had a phone call come in and it blocked, and now I can't hear you. Rejoin, maybe that will work. Get out and then come back. That should be okay. What's going on with her? So Prasad, do you find this topic relevant to you? Yes. Yeah, very much so, because we encounter these high responsibility working people all the time, and that does. Yeah, there she is. I'm back. Okay, very good. Can you hear me now? I can. I apologize. That's fine. Okay. So, as we were talking about, if you take the entrepreneurs, they struggle with the decision fatigue because they have to, any entrepreneur knows that they have to make 100 decisions every day, which I did, which I'm still making it. That they if they don't have a clarity, if they don't know how to be focused on the most important and least important, they get confused with everything. They're going so important, so they get the fatigue of making too many decisions too many days, right? They can delegate sometimes. That is also a problem. People do that, and the identity crisis is they do not know who they are, what is in their life. That is a big problem for everybody, but more so entrepreneurs. If they don't know who they are, what they are aiming for, they may have misled values like money becomes most important, accumulation, but not their own personal health and not their personal relationship with the family. Okay, that's a problem with them too. When it comes to leaders of the corporation, which I try to tell them about servant leadership, they have to navigate the workforce burnout while managing AI disruption. That's what is happening to them. AI is disrupting them. They have to make hard choices of firing people and also resistance from it. All that is happening. So these challenges for the physicians, EMR, for the entrepreneurs, the decision fatigue, like that. These challenges all share a common, all root that is very common to all of them. What is that root? That nervous system under sustained siege. It's a kind of siege. They are seized by the nervous impulses and reactions, and they don't pay attention what is happening to them inner sympathetic nervous system overtone that results in heart attacks, high blood pressures, all those things. It's a very simple thing actually, but if you go to work, you don't have to react to every small little thing, and you don't have the fear of getting fired or getting sued or whatever. Then you are much better. But lots of time that's not so, especially people who have put in so much money into the system, into whatever they invested, and too much time and energy, and they may be having so much of family to take care of, so many employees to pay, so many things, right? So they can get into nervousness very easily. But that's why the nervous system is in siege. That is the root of this. Okay. So I always talked about traditional wellness programs. They treat symptoms. They don't go to the roots of the illnesses, roots of the cause of this nervous failure or stress or burnout, whatever. Okay. In proactive wellness, I address the underlying architecture of human stability in high stakes environments. The person who is a leader of big ward having 100 patients there, the physician will be a tremendous pressure all the time. I've seen that. I have went through that myself. So uh, see, the solution isn't more resilience talks or yoga sessions. They're okay, but it's systematic nervous system training tailored to each professional unique demands. That's what I was focusing on. So the common thread is different titles are there. These professionals, they share a identical struggle. What is attention fragmentation, which is happening all the time because people want our attention all the time, and nervous system dysregulation. Even somebody like Janet, who is retired, who is at home enjoying herself, she goes through a lot of anxiety, nervous tension because of the things that are happening outside in the world, in the political system, in the economic, in the weather and all that, right, Janet? That's right. Yeah, a lot of nervous tension is there. But as you getting older, that becomes more, kind of no confidence, less confidence in things that we used to do very easily. Now they become like a challenge. You may have a trip and a fall, and there are a lot of things go like that. Okay, so it is common in everybody, but then nervous system dysregulation happens to all of them, but more so in this high, because these people are never talked about this. When they go through burnout, then they send to me, and by the time that the nervous system is really disheveled. So that is what happens, and then these people will be really a wreck, really. And then they have studied a lot, they have understood a lot, they were making their professions go, and then now this hits them, and the scientists say, I'm stressed out, let me smoke, I'm stressed out, let me take, and that becomes a problem. So instead of really going to the root problem of dysregulation of the nervous system, they try to numb it, put it down with whatever measure they will have. It may be going down with the deep breathing for a while, but if you don't really understand the whole main thought, how they happen, you will be thinking from meeting to meeting, but you never give a chance the mind to regain. That's why I want to understand how we really bring the dysregulated nervous system into regulation. Okay, uh, so not only the nervous system goes out of whack, they lose meaning, because under pressure, what they want to do, especially physicians, I see that they want to do something right for the patient. The insurance will come and say, no, it won't be paid by the insurance company. You cannot do that. So that becomes a moral injury. I want to do something good for the patient, but they won't allow. That's very common to us. Okay. So my framework is only one, but tailored to four different audiences. Okay. First one is the physician. Basically, they are burning out because of the EMR data has become too much. That's overload. Okay. And what we used to do, simple note on the paper, that is now has become to enormous EMR, and so they want us to document all the time. So it never completed. And then they have this compassion fatigue. They go and work very hard, and something goes wrong with the patient or the bureaucracy or the insurance companies or drug companies. They all come and interfere, right? And then you want to help the patient, but then you showing compassion, and then you work like that, you will be having fatigue. A lot of people take their work at home, nurses especially. They take all the things that they see with their patients, take home, and then they get lost on that. Okay, because they cannot pay attention to their family. That's a no, don't take work home. That's better. But here, because you have the EMR connection from home to here, they want us to document more and more and more. So it has become such a headache. They are getting burnout because of that. And also the moral fatigue, and then the moral injury I told you about. So what I kind of thing is, you can do AI informed workflow relief, artificial intelligence informed workflow relief. That will give you that. And then you can also have to do the attention training. You got to develop how to pay attention to one thing at a time. That means you have to learn how can I get up in the morning, be awareness, and then pay attention to one, which I always talk about. Then micro practices between patients. Okay, what I do is take a 1 minute break, take deep breaths, take 1 minute break, and then be silent, do something else, different, but don't be thinking continuously. Okay, so what it does is you can measure that they reduce the burnout signals, or all the burnout signals were there before a lot. Now they reduce after using that, and also they develop a renewed meaning. Why am I doing this work? How I want to relieve the suffering of my patient. Once they come back to that and they see that is being relieved by your measures, they get a lot out of that. They feel good about themselves to providing more services to the patient. And then the improved patient care improves really whatever you are doing. If you are in the present, you can appreciate that. When I go back to see the patient after my initial rounds, I get to chat with them and with the patients. At least when I was in the hospital, I was doing that. Then they loved it because they got a lot more information, a lot more doubts they have, and everything. What do you think, Janet, if a doctor comes in the morning, sees you for 10 minutes, and later on he comes and spends time with you in the afternoon?
I would like that.
Yeah, you would like to chat with him, know about it, express all the concerns, doubts, and all. And I used to do that. Not everybody took a lot of time. Only complicated patients took a lot of time. But many of them just happy to say, suppose somebody is with pneumonia, I just go say, okay, your cultures came okay, your antibodies are working, you're getting better, you may get discharged in a couple of days. That is enough for him, right? So, what is going on? Where I'm going to go, how I'm going to go home or not, all these things they will be thinking all the time. So that kind of simple things helped a lot. And also they appreciated me, and that helped me to feel better about myself. I'm doing something good for them. You understand? It's not egotic. It's a kind of a human interaction. You know, for the IT professionals, for example, this, like as I said, too much of information overload, cognitive overload, constant notifications. That even this clubhouse, even though I put a no notification, they will send me the notification. I don't know how to, except I to delete the app. That may be the only way to make them not send any notifications for me. And then what they do is they make your focus shallow. Okay, and that is not really good for the brain, because you want to read through something, finish it up, and then go. If you leave the mind thinking on the past things all the time, then they will cloud on the things that are coming to you in this moment, and also what you are thinking ahead. Instead, think only what is in front of you. That is a very difficult thing for people to gain, unless they start from the morning and keep it in mind during the day, and then at the end of the day. But these notifications are so automatic. IT professionals really get stressed by them. Their focus goes down. And ultimately their nervous system fatigues. Really? Yeah.
Real quick, I sent a reminder to some of the groups. If somebody would like to join, perhaps we may give permission to them.
Sure. Sure. They appear here. I'll admit you.
Give me the authorization to allow others also.
Yeah, sure.
Like a co-host or something.
Yeah. I mean,
you need not stop your phone.
No. If they appear here, I'll allow them. No.
Okay.
If I have a doubt, I'll ask you. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
I don't know how to make you the host.
That's okay. No worries.
So that is about the IT people. So with the training, their nervous system resets, and the deep focus training is what we do, right? And also, I do some digital boundary rituals. Do you do any of them, Prasad? Digital boundary rituals.
No, not precisely, but
yeah, that is a kind of needed for people for this onslaught of. What about you, Janet? What do you do?
Explain what you're talking about.
That means I'm not going to allow the notifications. I'm not going to keep so many emails. I will dispose them off. And also, I'm not going to really engage in casual surfing and then getting all the things. These are the boundaries that you put to yourself, so that you won't even be dragged into that. Suppose notifications, right? They are coming all the time. You leave them alone, they come continuously coming. But if you say, I don't want to have all these advertisements, all these people trying to sell me everything, I want to put up. You have to actually do that. Otherwise, they will be coming through different channels to come to you, right? So, too many channels.
I just did that, Dr. Rao.
Yeah.
I just did that, to remind our friends to join our meeting. So this is a
yeah.
deal.
That's the thing. Everybody will be sending, oh, come to my meeting, come to meeting. So everybody wants to attract crowd. But for me, I don't care about the crowd. I care about the people who have come in and the interaction with them. Even one or two people, that's fine. But then I'm doing the other channels, so it will be there as a record for them. But my thing is, I want to do several channels together. So right now we are open on the Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube, and we are on the Zoom. Okay, that's enough. I did not put any social audio. Okay, because the new way people don't want me to exclusive with them, I'm not able to do that. So I told them, few people, but different channels. And if it is meaningful for them, even one person, that's good enough for me. So, but slowly people, you have to realize the need of this deeper exploration of into our consciousness, our thinking, and all. Not many people are interested in that. But your own regular life will improve. Janet, you take her life as a retiree, as somebody enjoying her life, her family, and all that. She has to have the physical strength. She has to have the focus of able to walk and all that. If she realizes that, that's good enough. Okay, but she also is interested in these digital boundaries because they are getting them the poor elderly people. Right, Janet? You get a lot of messages, right?
Yes, they're coming after me all the time from all different directions.
Yeah, they come up to everybody of us, every one of us. That is why digital boundaries, rituals. I do this. For example, emails are there, right? Everybody wants to see the email right away. I never do. I only allot time, only half an hour, two times. Those two time also, suppose I want to listen something from Prasad. I'm working with him some job. I only look for that. Okay, I don't read go from first to the bottom. I don't. I just let them expire, throw them away, return all that. Only the people I am doing business with. Only the people I want. I don't want to be dragged by advertisements. Buy this, buy that, and all that. I don't want that. If I'm trying to upgrade my Apple Watch, right, and I want to see only related to that, then AT&T send a mail for them. I want a new catalog, whatever. I didn't do that. I can go and check it myself. But then what I'm saying is only the business. That's a boundary I'm putting it. I'm not going to listen to you, whoever want to reach me. Okay. Suppose I'm working with Prasad or something and he sends me email, I'll check that. But I don't check on everybody that is there. Right? So that really helps a lot for us to have this digital boundaries, and I give some trials for them. For example, you have something like you want to advertise something, right? And you do it according to your programs, according to your work schedule, and all of that. But not be led by the other people saying, "Oh, you advertise with us, this is better. You buy this, it is better." Those things I kind of accumulate. Otherwise, we are surfing. All that surfing thing is really, really bad. It takes so many things unnecessary into our mind, and also it captures our attention and keeps us there.
Yeah. In fact, one more thing, Dr. Rao, that I observed in recent years, WhatsApp changed a lot of people. It's sort of along with other social media portals, WhatsApp became a big addiction. People are waiting for that. Even the old people, retired people, being alone, they feel alone most of the time. They are into this. Sometimes they are up to 16 hours in a day. So this is something hitting everybody in a big way. Both professionals and others also.
Yeah, that's why what it is I myself get up in the morning. I don't have to switch my phone on or anything on, right? I have my time. Okay, I may get up at 3:30, 4 o'clock, but I engage in my own training of my mind or doing some kind of exploration with the spiritual talks, things like that. Okay, and that's how my day starts. So it's actively by my own intention. But if I have at work, if I have to go to a place where I have to be there 7 o'clock, then I may start at 5 o'clock. Then I will get up and get ready and focus on getting ready only. Okay, and then I may stretch a little bit, breathe a little bit, and then just to take a shower, and then I'll take the breakfast and go. So that is what used to happen when I'm going to the hospital. If these days I don't have to go to the hospital, I kind of have an online company. I provide services for the people who call me for consultations or coaching and all that, right? That will start around 9:30, like that, so I can do all this morning report and everything before 9 o'clock. After 9 o'clock, I have my own schedule. But then also at lunchtime, I will check the email if there is anything important. For example, I'm dealing with you a deal, right? You company, I'm dealing with a company, and I want to see what's going on. What did you send? You may have sent some emails to me. Then I will go and do. See, this business of answering every single email, that should go. And also, you want to scrape your email and say, what are the important things for me? Then mark them. Rest of them, delete them. Then sometimes what I do is, if they're sending something, delete, and complete castaway, like, that is there. I will do that there. Those people will not be able to send them back to me. Somebody is trying to sell me something which I will have no intention of buying in my life. Why should I bother overloading my email with that? So there is a way. This is what I called digital detox. That's a bigger program. Even for you, Janet, I can show you that, and then you can manage all these outside interferences that you don't want to have, because they are trying to get your attention. That's why we call this attention economy, right? So we don't want that. We want you to be in charge of this on your own, and then you leave them alone. Okay, shut off the phone and then go to a walk like that. That has become very big deal for a lot of people. When I told them, so digital boundary rituals you can cultivate. I have a number of them that you could do. It's not like a not encouraging people to communicate with you. Meaningful communication. Okay? Friendship is there. Suppose Janet calls me and says, Dr. Rao, I want to talk to you about something. Then I will give importance for that. I will call her for that. Okay? I will talk to her. Or if somebody calls me and says, we are stuck with this particular program, we want you to come and talk to us, then I call them. Like that, what is meaningful for me? My business is to help people in whichever way it is. From morning till evening, that's the only thing I look at. Lots of time they call me when they are either crisis or hardship or really distressed, right? Somebody called me the other day because her husband died, and she is very, very sad, very much. Really. Then she called me, and then I talked to her. I didn't talk to her much time either, only a few minutes, but that made a difference for her because we have established that communication. You see what I mean? It won't happen unless I'm there when they need me. It's not that they should be dependent. It's a question of trust and understanding, and say, oh, he will be there for me as a friend, and he will probably give me some suggestion, something like that. So it has to be meaningful for me, not in the meaningful, it has to make money for me. No. It has to make a better relationship with whatever that is. In that focus, I train these people to develop these habits of don't look at the phone and everything first thing in the morning. Get yourself in the present, get yourself kind of ready, and then look at them one time, morning. Then go to work, focus on the work, avoid all the discussion, don't watch the TV, watch the cricket, and like that. And then at the lunchtime, maybe you want to check again. Okay, and then that also is brief you should be, and also important things you want to note down, or have a system where you transfer them to the file where you can come back and look at them. Or there are programs they can read everything for you and answer for you. Okay, you can activate that to those things that you want to have meaningful connection. Suppose Janet calls me, my chatbot answers her, says, okay, Janet, Dr. Rao is busy, but you need your phone number. That's just like answering service, but that can chat with you too. Janet, do you know that the chat?
Yes.
Yeah, chatbot can chat with you. They say, what is the problem you are telling about, Janet, for example? They say, oh, I just want to clarify something with Dr. Rao. I would like to talk to him. And that's all. Then they say, okay, we will take you the message and pass it on to him. But if there is a message you want to discuss with me, suppose you say, I'm not able to sleep, for example. And then immediately, okay, Dr. Rao recommends these things for the sleep. It will tell you. Okay. Then my job is done through my chatbot because I trained it that way. So there are so many things that are coming up in the AI, which I always keep up with, try to keep up with, so that my job is delegated more often. My quality has to be there. It have my chatbot is a clone of me, not everything, but the regular small things. Look at the time we save. Look at the energy we save. Look at the meaningful connection is maintained. We are serving what we want to, but we are using the AI technology. Take this as a point. Recruit AI to be your assistant. That is a big digital boundary. Like, it's not even a boundary. It's not really limiting, but also it is working for you. See where we can go that way. So I'm an informatician. I deal with a lot of information, not only technical, but also human suffering. That's what the business I'm in. I want to reduce human suffering, which is lots of them unnecessary. Right? And then suppose Janet calls her about something that happened that is bothering her now. Then the chatbot say, but Janet, Dr. Rao always tells you to be in the present. Why are you worried about something that has happened in the past? That's good enough for her because she understood all that and she'll come. Right, Janet?
Right.
So she understood and she stepped out of it and she brought it back. I'm not saying she does that, but what I'm saying is example. Right?
Yeah.
So
I have actually done that. I called you when I was upset about something,
yeah.
And you reminded me to get my head back to
Here.
present moment awareness, and it helped me get out of that stress that I was in.
Exactly. That's what it is, So that is digital boundary rituals. We train them actually. What happens after all this? Say the nervous system resets and deep focus training is given, and also digital boundary rituals were given, right, for the IT professionals. So they get a sustained concentration and fewer stress spikes. That is what we can measure. Stress spikes, you can measure that. That will be there. So that's what happens with IT people. And then they sleep better. That is something you want to understand. They sleep better. And they recover better from whatever illness, whatever, and then they don't get ill also because they're not allowing themselves the sympathetic overtone. See, when they go to work, they fear so many things, they are worried, then they secrete all the cortisol, all the stress hormones, right? So what we are telling them is, okay, take a deep breath, reactivate your paranormal nervous system, which is rest and digest. So that is an antidote to the sympathetic tone you are building by reacting like that. And that is trained deliberately. And then they're given like I take their daily routine, Prasad, and I end up see where they are allowing these reactions to grow without them knowing, because that is a sympathetic nervous system, basal system that comes into reactivity, comes right away, right? So we don't want those people to come. Okay, then what happens? These people really relax on the job and do the better job because they're able to focus better. And at the same time, they're not building all these forces that increase the stress and more and more. Lot of cardiovascular activities because this increased reactivity, we with a sympathetic overtone, and that overtone has to go down. Blood pressure will go down. That's why one of the chief trainings I do is how to work in flow. Very effortless. If you work in flow, like for example, I'm doing this. I'm not worried about how many people are here. I'm only worried about the few people here and address them. Do the proper job. One person comes, that's fine, but do the proper job. Then whatever I want to give, I'm giving effortlessly because I'm not tortured by so many demands, right? So that is what happens with the IT. Now, the big class of people, the entrepreneurs that we train, they, as I told you earlier, decision fatigue. Too many decisions in a day they have to do. And lot of times they have the volatility stress. That means things are going up and down very quickly. Money may be coming, money may be going, our business is going up, coming down, our satisfaction, customers going up and down, all those volatility is there for them, right? And they get stressed about that because they allow themselves to feel very good when things are going well, which is a mistake because then you fall more. So we even that you remember in my morning routine, I train equilibrium in whatever you do, or whatever the wins, whatever the defeats come to you, be equal. Don't allow yourself to be elevated by the ego. Then the ego can have a pin punctured in it and it will collapse. Everybody comes from the ego, and we try to show them. And the more they are egoless, or egogenic reactions are not there, the better their health and wellness, and also how they feel about that. Right? So that is what we do. So loneliness is something very big deal for the entrepreneurs because they're at the top. They have to make those decisions, right? They have to make them, and then usually you are alone. You got to make the decisions by yourself. So that is something that these people have to do that, right? So loneliness is very much felt by them because they feel like nobody there to help me, only I have to do. Not really. There's so much wisdom out there. There's so many people are trying to help you. The Entrepreneur magazine, for example, if you go there, there are so many ways of best practices that people practice. That is, even now I read that. I kind of learned that, but not for me. But the people who are entrepreneurs who are stressed out come to me for help. Then I will pass on the information to them. They can do the business better, they can serve people better, and they can improve themselves better. That's the idea. So what we do basically after the disciplined daily rhythm, the dinacharya, that was the word is from the Ayurveda, where they say, how do you do a daily routines that are important for you in a way that will not stress you out, but will lead you into the flow states of work. Okay, some are obligatory, some are not, and also you pay attention to your diurnal rhythms of your body, how you get up, how you do everything in the morning, how you eat your lunch, how you do post lunch, what you do, how do you functional fitness like at work. All those things are like a daily routines that are somehow not rigidly but established such a way that is easy for you to do them and then participate in life too. So we really focus on that. And I train the inner resilience practices. How can I have my resilience of my body, resilience of my mind, resilience of my spirit, and all those things are involved in how clear are you about your purpose in life, how organized your mind about that purpose, and how disciplined instead of taken away by everybody's demand of attention, you got to pay attention to those high peak performance hours. What is important for you? What is meaningful for you? We train that deliberately, then they will be making decisions very clearly, and they have the energy that is steadier and high performance without inner collapse. That is what is happening with the entrepreneurs. They do so many things outwardly, but something goes wrong. They don't have the resilience inside to face that. So what I tell them is, if you are worried about anything, it's like you are in the rocker, sitting and back and forth, but you are not going anywhere. So this cyclical thinking that happens in body is something I say, no, no, ask your question, where am I? What am I doing? What is that I need to attend now? Don't worry about the time in the future, in the past. That is when people get into real problem. Once I showed them, then they will be able to come and pay attention to here. And because they are not worrying, they are not spending all their energy in those cyclical thoughts. They are having the energy to deal with what is in front of them, and that is done. That feeds them, so they feel good, they feel confident that something is done, and I'm able to do this. Even though it looked okay, possible to me, I attempted, I put all my focus, all my energy in there, and did. And then that entrepreneur grows in confidence as he gets more and more. And I also say, if you really fail something, don't think you are failed. You learn how to do something so that you will be successful. First attempt in learning, fail, right? That's actively, practically has to be done. Then they will be okay. So, and the last segment we talk about, first we talked about physicians, then we talked about IT professionals, then we talked about entrepreneurs, and this is the corporate leaders. This is the framework which we use for all of them, right? So these corporate leaders, what happens to them is they have the workforce burnout, right? They're leading so many thousands or so many hundreds, so many few people, even five people. They have to manage the minds. They have to manage all the people that are working for them. And usually it doesn't have burnout for them because everybody's problems comes to him, and he has to have the resilience to meet with that. Just because you're successful doesn't mean you are stable in, lots of egotistical led corporations that are really not working well. They say they're hiring special people who are really coaching these people how to be more in tune with everybody that they're working under him. So also the AI disruption is a major thing happening to the corporate leaders, because they have the tools that they can do, but then they have to fire people because they don't. That's happening. That's going to accelerate. So when they come, I only tell them about servant leadership. How can you service the needs of many, the society and all? If you have the perspective like that, instead of your own personal growth, your own personal accumulation, they transform into leaders that really mentor other people. Okay, so service oriented leadership, that I try a lot. And see, retention is a big deal. Now they are firing people where they want to hire these robots, the algorithms and all that. That may take some time, but before that, if they fire them, if something happens that they have problem with learning about the machine's operation, that's the big deal. That's why in my title, stable humans and intelligent machines and responsible stewardship. That is the title, right? So intelligent machines, use them intelligently, recruit them, and delegate them instead of getting worried. Or a lot of people are worried, a lot of people are really scared that the machines are going to take over. Yeah, they already taken over in so many ways, but like a doctor, I want to see a patient far in a remote village, then what happens? In that remote village, the patient is there, and they want to consult me for something. I'm more than happy to talk to them, because, then I know I can help these people from here. What an advantage. What a great thing. Say, when I'm interested in democratizing the IT use, the one of the first things I entered was the telemedicine. I was the literally one of the first to employ in this region. I used my Skype, I used my camera, I used my simple things like a diabetic or having an ulcer developed. It's not healing. Then we want to consult a dermatologist. So I sent the video or photograph to the dermatologist by my video thing, and then they answered back. Later we became live together. I have the Sony camera, video cam. I showed all the dimensions of the ulcer to the person who is seeing it, and then he gave me an opinion. Patient did have to go to Mayo, and from the Mayo, this thing is there, and they gave us the opinion. Isn't that wonderful? So, I mean, that is 1,000 times now compared to what we did. But that I was always involved in that telemedicine, which is very good in so many ways, you know. So, for these leaders, what I do is I kind of give them the service orientation, and and I kind of train them what is servant leadership involves. So many steps are there, you know, and also how can you make AI use ethical? This is a problem that people are having now. They have the use of these machines increasing the productivity, increasing the bottom line, but they have to sacrifice careers of so many people that they don't want to because they built the company. So they are sending them for AI training, they are elevating their roles and all that. So that is an important thing that I kind of train them, because I myself am going for the AI generalist. That's the title I'm going to have, because I'm learning AI. Not I don't have to program anything. I just want to know how the AI works in a company, how those tools I can manipulate, and then also how I don't have to rely on the experts, subject matter experts, but I can get these agents go and get that. I mean, there's on the side I'm telling you. So learn the technology, get familiar with, and recruit everything to it, then you'll be well off. If you are very late, then it will be stressful for you. And the leaders are having that. Dealing with AI, just embracing it and getting productivity is nothing. But dealing with AI and also balancing everything in their life, that is a big deal. That is where they are not having this reserve of energy inside, because they don't have clarity about where the AI going, what is going to happen, what is going to happen to our work culture. So many things are uncertain. What I do is, how do you manage uncertainty in any field, anything, with inner resolve? And for that, you need to understand how your mind works, how your emotions work, how you are reacting so much instead of responding with stability inside. That stability inside is the core thing about these four audiences I'm working on: the physicians, the IT professionals, the entrepreneurs, and the corporate leaders. Okay. I separated entrepreneurs and corporate leaders because corporate leaders have a lot of backing and lot of things that they can work with, but they have problems of their own. Entrepreneurs, they kind of work on their own, so they have to develop these qualities, and then they have problems with that. Okay, either way, it's all internal. So same inner technology that I use for different professional languages, different professional people. Okay, so
Dr. Rao,
yeah.
since we are approaching top of the hour, could you take questions?
Yeah. Ask anytime. What do you have?
Um, Not me especially, but
No, we can do that, because I actually at 11 o'clock I have a conference too. Okay, so it's 10 o'clock. Okay. I think we have only a couple of more time. But does it make sense what I said?
oh yeah, yeah. See, we are all into that. We have Chandraji, who is in India. He lives in Noida area.
Hmm.
He's a prolific social uh, social media lever. I noticed him doing, great work. In fact, we both
Hello, sir.
last month.
Hello. Namaskar.
Namaskar.
Chandraji, Dr. Rao is a very prominent doctor in the US, and also he is connecting all dots, including wellness. How do we calm our mind and everything? Now please feel free to ask anything. This is sort of satsang that Dr. Rao runs on Saturday mornings. So I learn a lot of things every day, actually every minute.
I think Chandra sir may have joined late. Let me give him briefly what we're talking about. We were talking about how can you have inner stability while you work as a physician, as an entrepreneur, as an IT professional, as a corporate leader. These four people consult me for that, usually burnout, stress, and all that. So I was telling them how the nervous system has to be stabilized in view of our information overload, in view of our lifestyles going faster and all that. I am like a physician, but I'm also a yogi. My lifestyle is yogi lifestyle, which is really helps me a lot, and I share that with a morning routine in the morning where we prepare our body, mind, and heart to the work. And also I give them techniques of how to deal the work, like how to be in a flow while you work, and also at night how to wake up and vacate our mind completely clear and sleep. And I advise people on different things, medical and non-medical. Hello? Hi. I don't know who that is.
Yeah, please continue.
Okay. So I was talking, actually, the presentation is pretty big. But essential thing is, are we paying attention to our inner selves or not? See, we don't stop, we don't reflect, we don't really take insights from that and improve ourselves.
So your mic is muted.
My mic is muted. Okay. Oh, I don't know how that happened. Okay, so it's a question of understanding outward life and why we are not inner calm. And that inner calm comes from maybe from the ancient wisdom. If you do, Prasad, I don't know you do this or not. Do this, what is I call samadhi, few minutes in the morning, few minutes in the evening. If you can't understand samadhi, you can't go that depth, that's fine. Sit down, focus on the breath. Start with that. Okay? And any thoughts come, let them come and go. Don't crush them or don't go and pursue them. Okay? Just try to be focusing on those thoughts. Rapidity, deep breath slows them down. First, to slow them down for a few weeks. Then you can say, I'm going to do it with one thought and I want to be staying there. That is the dhyana. Okay? And then you go beyond that also into the silence. If you can get the stillness of the mind or silence of the mind, few minutes in the morning, few minutes in the evening, that changes everything in this era of information age and so much of information. Cultivate that deliberately. I do that, but I can go much longer. Even if I'm talking now, I feel the silence within me as I talk. There's no compulsion that I have to convince you. I just want to express what I'm trying to tell you. Whether you take it or not is up to you. You may have a different viewpoint. That's fine. We can talk about it. Satsang is not about arguing, not about convincing somebody, not about pushing anything on them. Satsang is inviting people to investigate the truth of anything. Satya Sodhana, they call it, So that is, Janet, that word Satya means truth, Sodhana means search, right? Search for the truth in any matter. Everybody knows the truth, so they feel it when you resonate with that. That is why I call this satsang, because I want people to associate, to inquire into the truth of the matter. Right now, the lifestyles are giving a lot of stress and burnout. So I want stable human beings that are using machines intelligently. The machines themselves are intelligent, don't deny that, but you incorporate that. And also have this responsible stewardship of organizations, whatever we are working. This is a huge subject. I can talk about each one like a several hours, because we do so much work with that. But I'll just put it together so that this will be, people will know what is my company doing, why that is so important for me, and why I put all my eggs into that.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much. So good to know.
Yeah.
There are just 2 points I'd like to share.
Yeah.
One is that, as you said, Satya Shodhan,
Mm.
we also need to focus on Anna Shodhan.
Yes.
This is
Yes. Yes.
food impurity
Mm.
is not any longer in our control,
Mm.
that we can pick and choose.
That's true.
The way the global supply chains for food are being created, there is no traceability.
Yeah.
And for example, when we
Now
eat
that
freshly
is
cooked food,
in my physician's training, Chandrashar. What we do is 4 pillars. Vital nutrition is the first pillar. Exercise second. Third one is sleep. Fourth one is calming the mind. Okay. Each one trained a lot, like several weeks. In the nutrition, this thing is there. That's why a lot of people are trained to raise their own food. My patients were asked to raise their own vegetables, fruits, which they did. And also they use a compost, because all these fertilizers, all these insecticides are there, right? Avoid them as much as possible. Raise them with natural compost. They raise their own compost and did that. Some people who are interested in that. This is a big problem for us here. Everything is loaded with all the chemicals. Polluted. Exactly right. You see, I come from the Ayurveda's diet, because they have these doshas, are qualities that are in there, that are in us. So if we do the vata diet, for example, the vata will be reduced. The compatibility is there. But I eat the sattvic diet myself. I know what it is, how to do it. You're absolutely right. This is such a big problem all over the world. All over the world, especially the so-called developed countries, they so it's all microfilaments of plastic is in the baby's tummies.
yes,
So
sir.
you're right, but those are all small steps. They're all taking care of the body.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but to make it practically possible for more people,
No, it's not that. It's a question of understanding like you said, all the forces that are creating this pollution that has to be arrested. That's one thing. Other thing is, how can we know about what is a purified food? A lot of people don't understand. They go McDonald's everywhere. They go and eat the junk food all the time. Even the people who know about it, all the dietitians, they also go there and eat that. My own assistants in the office, they used to use this junk food all the time, and their cholesterol, they're only 20 years old, but the cholesterol is about 200. So it's a multifactorial thing, that's I agree. But the thing is, take care of, say, I go to the Upanishads where they said our body is like a rath, the chariot. The whole body it has to be strong for the chariot to go, the horses to draw, right? So like that, our physical body is that. Then horses are our senses. Unless you have a control of the senses, they go wherever they want. In the West, that is what we see, and that has spread to the East also. More people want entertainment than enlightenment. Why? Because senses are not in control. And then the senses have to be controlled by the good thoughts. Those are the reins of the chariot. And that has to be the positive thinking, correct thinking, and all of that. And who does that determination? The higher intellect, prefrontal cortex. That is the driver. And driver, where does he go? Where the passenger goes? Who is the passenger in us? Our soul. So our soul, higher intellect, and normal thoughts, and also senses, and the body. All these have to be worked on. And people cannot do all of them so much because they are so much distracted from all of that.
Yes, sir. So
Yeah.
all the points are very well taken. Yet it cannot be, undermined or overlooked that there is a lock-in of the system into industrialized or commercialized
Yeah.
food chains.
I would say that's because,
Not,
that's because our consciousness.
no, so I'm just coming to that.
Yeah.
So that is where we are working on the eco-village networks. And I've shared in the group. Let me just share with you that I came from a physical satsang, and I just saw Prasad Ji's link, and I immediately tuned in. So that's how I joined in late, because I was.
No, that's a very good title, Eco Village. That's a very nice one. It's a balancing.
So tomorrow 4 p.m. We have a session by the president of Global Eco Village Network. So I shared the link. So Prasad ji could share the link in other networks. And I believe it would be a very healthy and very generative discussion. It is 4 to 5 p.m. tomorrow. The link is there in the group, the United Humanity.
4 to 5 p.m. of Indian Standard Time?
Yes, sir. Indian Standard
that
Time.
means it's like early morning for me. 4:30.
No. Evening.
I know, but your evening is my morning.
Yeah, we are on the opposite side.
Okay.
Yeah. I know Indian time very well because I talk to my sister every day, so I know what is the time there. And also lot of friends come from India too, so that's fine too. So.
Right, yeah.
Okay, we will talk more about this topic because it's only introduction I gave. A lot of people also are not on the Zoom. I don't know. I did send the link to all of them. And then you know what? They call me back and say, "Oh, you didn't get the WhatsApp invitation." I sent you direct to Zoom. Come, come here. So anyway, I'm glad you are here. Janet, you have anything? I don't know whether Janet, are you there or not? Because there's somebody, Nelly Castro. Hello, Nelly. I'm just giving her a chance to say anything if she wants to. Okay. All right, Prasad, I have the other meeting, I'll be attending that, so now. I don't know what happened to this. I don't know what happened here.